Sean Salisbury is with us. Saints are coming off a bye. Good feeling in the belly going into the bye on a win after the long losing streak. But, Sean, the actual conversation flips to the other side in Atlanta where Michael Penix could very well be done for the year, and so now Kirk Cousins will sort of resume that starting role. Let's walk through the dynamics there and start with kind of an obvious one. How does Atlanta's offense change with Cousins as opposed to Penix?
Well, hopefully Cousins gets some conversation on the sideline from veterans and coaching staff, unlike Penix did. That's where, are they working with these guys? And I'm being a bit, hyperbolic and facetious, but, going through when Michael Penix said he had nobody to turn to, it first hit me like, what's going on that staff?
Wow.
It really bothered me. And it still does, because if that's the way we communicate with our quarterbacks, no wonder, look around you. Look at some of the look around at the lack of development that we're going through in the NFL. And I caution, and I don't mean this in a overly derogatory way, but it fits. Just because people coach at that level and just because there are people in front offices, they're not all experts. They miss, and they miss a lot. And just because you can draw it on a whiteboard doesn't mean you can communicate. And if you're not communicating, then I suggest you take 2 weeks off and find a different career, because you're not making the kid better. I'll start there. With this, they're less versatile, because even though Penix, and God bless him, man, but this is the 5th time now in his football career, college and pro, that he will have missed a season or parts of a season because of an injury. He's a good guy and he can rip it. Probably is losing a little versatility because of the injuries to the lower half and stuff that have caused him when it happened at Indiana. But I admire him and his grit. I do, and his grind. But you still lose. Cousins isn't going to do that. One thing Cousins has always been, whether you want to call it a master, or some of us would say, I wish he'd do more of it. He does not like to throw the ball away. That's not been a specialty of his. And I think he's a hell of a leader and a fierce competitor. And he's a starter he's good enough to be a starter in the league. Now, he lost it to Penix, and that's been well documented. But you get to him, you'll get sacks, because unless visualizing from the back, he's admitted when he lost the job that he wasn't making good decisions and turned the ball over. And he's a great, and the reason why, unlike Penix, you don't need a lot of communication. He's been in the league long enough that he'll see it. You're mentally ahead because Cousins has been around the league longer, for no other reason than he's been in more games. And maybe we've seen this with a lot of veterans come back in after you went to the bench and got a different perspective of how you want to get that. And it's really not just for Atlanta, but it is also a showing ground and a teach for others about where's Cousins. Is he worth being a starter somewhere else next year if you're in a bridge season or two, whether it's Atlanta or somewhere else? And who knows how long, or what will happen for Penix down the road. So you're going to get the veteran part who can handle it, but you get to him. He doesn't like to throw it away, whether that's statistical driven. He was one that will hold on to it and make sure that somebody's open before he throws it. We'll see what he's learned from there. Atlanta's defense on that side of the ball, they're mid-range. They're okay, in between 16 and 25, depending on passing and rushing. And so you can run the football on them and you can score on them. But, the Penix loss, it just, gives Cousins another chance, because he was the guy before he lost it to Penix. He was making poor decisions and poor throws, but he's always been a 4,000-yard, 30 touchdown, 25 touchdown machine when he's been a starter. I'm anxious to see what perspective he has and how he Penix. Penix is a little better at it. Cousins isn't going to crush with legs. He's a pocket guy. You're not going to see much launch point change, but he'll probably, because of the experience, be able to see stuff quicker than a second-year quarterback still learning what it's like. And remember, it's also, there's the turnovers and the rest of it and staff. So you can probably trust Cousins with a little more bandwidth because of the infancy of Michael Penix's career.
Sean, what about the absence of Drake London, who is by a mile their best wide receiver and also their leading pass catcher?
If the Saints get beat via the pass this week by somebody else, then you'll deal with it. Yeah. I'm just telling you, if you do not let the guy in the backfield beat you, because that's their bread and butter. Robinson is a phenomenal football player. When you mention the best guys in this league, versatility-wise, Barkley, him, Bijan Robinson, he is one of those guys. McCaffrey, he's in the team picture. So I'm selling out to now. Here's the problem, though. Cousins can beat you, but will you get separation on the perimeter with your receivers? I'm going to gamble at least when I come out of this game plan as I prep this week if I'm the Saints. I'm going to gamble because we come out of this game and it's 28 carries for $160. Forget it. It won't matter how Cousins plays. The Saints will not win the game. So you gear up and you make Cousins get some rust off. You make him, he made some throws last week when he came in, but there's still some rust. You make him, force him to beat you. And if they do, then you take your hat off and tip your cap to them and say, okay, no Drake London. Cousins is trying to find another guy or two to get this thing rolling and go. But if you come out of this game and Bijan Robinson has 7 catches and 35 touches and 28 rushes for $160 and 2 touchdowns, then that's just on the Saints. So I would make them throw to win, and it's odd because you're doing it against a veteran who can throw to win. But they're so diminished on the perimeter as far as losing their guy, and London is by far their best player on the perimeter, not named Bijan Robinson. I would expect the Saints to say, like all defensive coordinators, but even more so this week, you have got to prevent a lot of touches and a lot of yards and home runs in the run game and the screen game for the Falcons.
Falcons are on a 5-game losing streak. Sean Salisbury is our guest. This is the first time the Saints and the Falcons have locked up, and it's a different Saints team now with Shough making his 3rd start. How do you think the Saints, coming off the bye, offensively, Shough now 3rd start, match up against Atlanta's defense?
I would, like I said, I think that you've got to be multiple. I would, if you're going to line up and do it, their head coach and their defense they can create confusion. They are really good at that. But, statistically, and sometimes can be overrated. When we talk about yards, Denny Green used to tell us, they can throw for 500 yards if they kick 3 field goals and we win and it's 28-9. Who cares? Yeah. Although the ego part of defenses, but it's keeping them out of the end zone, and the truth is the main ego of defenses is scoring. They don't want people to score points. And the other side is they don't want you to physically manhandle them. Every now and then, if you get finessed to death by Dan Marino, you'll accept it. The guy throws it, that's it. But when you take body blows and get beat that way, that's an ego and self-worth killer. It like will steal your soul. So if I'm the Saints, I'm attacking. I would not go. There's no reason to go in this game tiptoeing around and say, well, let's play it close to the vest. Why would you? You got to air it. Let's see what, and that doesn't mean drop back and throw it 50 times unless you have to, but stay to the game plan. Do what got you the win with Shough in the first place. And I know it's Atlanta, but Atlanta's on a losing streak too, and they've got injuries. It's not exactly like they're world beaters. They can be had by anybody in the league. So I would, Shough's a smart guys. Let's be multiple. You've had 2 weeks now to add some stuff. Force them to play your hand, because you would like to think, regardless of the personnel on defense for the Saints, that you if you take Robinson away, and it'll be a challenge that you can compete there. So I'm not going into this playing safe. The Saints, we're now around Thanksgiving. What do you got to lose but another game? Now, if you were playing tank for somebody, I guess, but you, as a first-year head coach, you're not doing that. You're trying to win. Coaches don't think like that. Maybe front offices do, and usually, but coaches and players don't think about, hey, let's play it close so we get beat and we get the first pick next year. I don't think people think like that. Front offices do as you get later in the season because they want to get this guy and it helps them. I don't, and I wouldn't imagine Shough does it. I wouldn't imagine Kellen Moore wants to go in and embarrass himself. So I'm letting it rip. To me, I want to run it. I want to throw it. I want to be versatile. I want to get my 65 to 70 plays in. And if you come out of it with 28 runs and 30 throws, or 25, 35, and 35, or whatever, good. I'll take it. But I'm not playing scared. I'm sure as hell not playing soft, and I'm not playing worried. It's not like you're battling for first place. Yeah. You're trying to go win. And most teams I've been on, or players I've been around that play not to, let's play it safe and let's tiptoe. You end up getting your ass handed to you and beat down. So let it rip. Just be smart with it. And it's another chance to expand and see what this quarterback can do. Because remember, this just isn't going to be about 2025. For the Saints, the draft and free agency is huge, knowing what's going to happen with that position and other positions as you evaluate your team. I'm not learning anything from being afraid to win. I can promise you that. Let it rip.
He is Sean Salisbury. Get him at Sean Unfiltered. Be fun in the Dome on Sunday, 3:25. It's always fun when it's Saints-Falcons, even with losing
No
records.
doubt. Fun. That's exactly right.
It's never boring. Make sure you get him Unpaved on YouTube as well. Go subscribe to the channel. Sean, you're the best, man. We always appreciate your time on these Tuesdays, man. Thank you.
Keep up the great work, brother. Thank you.
We appreciate it. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.